Hello and welcome to the application tutorial on how to apply for General CEnvP certification. From our website, if you're not sure whether or not you are eligible to apply for certification, you can click on the How to Apply button and take the eligibility test, which is located here. If you need further clarification about what you need to prepare before applying, you can have a look at the guidance notes located here. However, hopefully after watching this video, you will be well informed about the online application process and you can begin straight away. The first part of the form is quite straightforward. You will need to provide both your primary and secondary contact details, as well as indicating what kind of details these are. In the certification details section, as you are applying for a general certification, you will select General CEnvP certification. Tutorials for applying for the specialist certifications are also available on the tutorial page. Then simply click Yes or No to indicate whether you hold full EINZ membership. Next, to begin the formal qualification section, if you don't have a formal qualification, you may still be eligible for certification through the CEnvP grandfather clause, which is outlined in another video. Alternatively, if you do have a certification, click Yes and fill out the details. If your name is different from the one on your academic qualification, you will need to provide evidence of your name change via a certified copy of a marriage certificate or another certified means, such as a change of name document. This part serves to notify you that you will need to upload a certified copy of your credentials in another part of the form, and this list gives you some examples of who is qualified to certify a document. If you have more than one degree or qualification, you can upload the rest of your qualifications in a separate form. Being a CEnvP includes adhering to the EINZ Statement of Ethical Conduct and is an integral part of becoming a certified practitioner. Applicants must agree to abide by all clauses of the Ethical Conduct Statement. Not adhering to these in your environmental practice could result in decertification. Similarly, the ethical conduct questions must be answered accurately and truthfully. If you answer yes to any of these, you will need to provide an explanation as to why you answered it. The commitment to continuing professional development is also a key part of being a CEnvP. You will need to undertake at least 100 points of CPD for every 2-year period that you are certified. To find out what activities contribute towards your CPD, you can download either of these two documents. If you have undertaken professional development over the last 2 years, you can indicate it here. If you haven't taken any, simply put 0. And please note that the CPD you have undertaken will be discussed during your CEnvP interview. You will need to nominate 3 referees who can recommend you on a professional and ethical basis. Referees need to be respected environmental practitioners. Another CEnvP would suffice, or someone who would be eligible to apply for CEnvP certification themselves. At least one of the referees needs to be external to your current place of employment, and you need to have known the referees for a minimum of 2 years. As an example, I'll fill out one referee report page, although they're quite straightforward. You'll need to indicate whether or not the person you nominate will also be requested to verify work experience on another page. As there is a minimum requirement of only 2 referee reports, you can simply nominate a 3rd referee who is not required to provide a report or verify work experience. Once you have nominated 3 referees, you will need to indicate your 3 main areas of practice. These are the main activities you undertake as part of your environmental practice. The drop-down list provides examples of areas that other CEnvPs have listed before. Next, you will need to provide evidence of your work experience. As a general CEnvP applicant, you will only need to provide 5 years of experience. If you have more than 8 years of experience in a specialist area and 10 years overall environmental experience, you may wish to consider applying for a specialist certification instead. The employer in this part of the form is the company that you work for, and the position held is the role you undertook whilst working for that company. As an example, I will say that I have worked at this organisation for 3 years full-time. After I've filled out my main activities, I'm listing the person who would be able to verify this work experience for me and indicate whether or not they will also be submitting a referee report. If you click no to this, they will just receive an email requesting that they electronically verify the details you have listed above. As in my example, if this experience does not cover equivalent full-time work over a 5-year period, you will need to provide more evidence of work experience. For example, let's say I worked at Envirotech previously, and I worked only 25 hours per week instead of the full-time 35. In order to make up the full 8,400 hours which would be required for full year's full-time work, I would have needed to work at this employment for at least 3 years in order to qualify. Remember, this experience also needs to occur within the past 10 years. I'll fill the rest of this out and click No to further work experience. If you do have more than 5 years of experience, there's no need to continue to fill out these experience forms, as you can simply list all of your experience on your CV, which you will attach on the next page. On the document upload page, you are asked to upload your CV and a certified copy of your qualifications. As I mentioned before, your qualifications need to be certified by a Justice of the Peace or an equivalent. If you don't have the necessary documents on hand, you can save the form to continue later. Please note that if you do this, documents won't be stored in our server unless you click the Submit button at the end of the form. All of your details will be saved for later, but your electronic signatures and uploaded documents will have to be re-uploaded each time you reload the form. For this reason, it may be easier to upload all of your documentation once you are ready to submit your full application. If you have any other documents which we would like the panel to take into consideration, there are other upload sections which can allow you to do this. Other supporting documents may be reports or journal articles which you have authored, or anything else of significance that you think may assist your certification as a competent and ethical environmental practitioner. This next page contains the statement of claim, which you will also need to have signed by a Justice of the Peace or equivalent. The statement confirms that everything you have provided in this application form is true and accurate. You will need to download the form, print it out, and have it signed before re-uploading it into the application form. Make sure you check the relevant state or territory that you are signing from. This is the final page of the application form. You will need to state whether or not you are paying from within Australia, supply your card details for your application fee, and fill out the capture element. Once you have done all this, you can press Submit and you're finished. If you have any other questions about the application form or the application process, feel free to contact us at the office or via email. Good luck with your application.